Renew your oath. Renew your oath every day. Renew your niyyah every day. Not every day, but many times a day. Not many times a day, every step of your way, every act of your way, every time you say a word, every time you type something, every time you go for a dawah event, anytime, renew your niyyah. That's how you get your strength for sabr when calamity hits you later on. If hard times pass you in this life and people turn away, do you think anyone's going to help you before Allah? If trials over يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَبَنِيهِ, if they don't help you in this life, you think they're going to help you in the life after? If trials overwhelm you, you're not going to find no one there but Allah. And truly Allah is sufficient. That's all you really need. The question is how to get Allah on your side. You're going to get hurdles and bumps in your da'wah. The trials and tribulation are like hurdles and bumps, one after the another, in your da'wah path. You're not going to find no one but Allah when you get on these hurdles. So if you want Him to be there for you, make sure that every step of the way before you got to those hurdles, you were doing that which pleases Allah and not what pleases the masses. And not what pleases your friends or what pleases people. Does this please Allah? Does this make Allah happy? Is this in accordance with the teaching of Islam? We all had situations where we had friends who betrayed us. If I was to let you talk, we'd be here all day. And everyone has a story of his own. I don't like to make my personal life a center stage or talk about it in lectures or even in social media. But sometimes there's essential lessons and they create that come out of these stories, and also sometimes there's awareness that comes out of them to other Muslims. So I can say today, from what I know, there's no one who follows my classes who was among my students before I went to prison. Not one that I know of. Unless they're hiding behind and listening, but someone who interacts and asks questions or that I know of that studies with me, not a single one. When I was taken to prison, it was approximately 2 nights before Ramadan. It was 2 nights before Eid al-Fitr. So the first night I woke up in prison. The first night I spent in prison, I woke up to Eid al-Fitr in prison. May Allah give my mother the highest firdaus, inshaAllah, for what she endured of hardship. The night before I went to prison, my father and I were invited to one of our students' house for iftar. And it was packed. Ahmed Jibril is going to be there. Sheikh Musa is going to be there. Everyone was there. Was packed. We stayed late at the brother's house because it was a large gathering. It was a very large gathering. And I led the Taraweeh there. I was supposed to do a Khitm al-Quran somewhere else because it was Juz' Amma that I was going to do. And because there was a large gathering, I did it there in the house. We led the Salah there and we finished Juz' Amma. We finished the Khitmah. My father said to the people, if tomorrow's not Eid, because tomorrow's a possibility of being Eid, if tomorrow's not Eid, everyone's invited to our house. Because we go by sight and we don't know if they still didn't pinpoint whether it was going to be Eid or the final day of Ramadan. Everyone was invited to our house. May Allah reward my father, grant him a long life full of deeds, and may Allah grant my mother Firdaus. We were expecting at least 150 to 250. And they come into our house. This was the trend. If you know any one of those days, they'll tell you. They would come in shifts and eat. May Allah raise my mother's rank to Firdaus. After Taraweeh, there were those who were eager to sit to my right and left in my surrounding. I remember as though it was today. No, this is my final night in freedom. Even before that, when I used to go deliver lectures, it was common to go in a caravan. We'd go several cars. And I remember they would argue who gets in the car with me. And even times brothers would come tell me, hey, they're arguing who's going to drive the car that you are going in. Wallahi, that happened. Many times. Let me say, when I walked in court for my sentencing, the courtroom was packed, shoulder to shoulder. But not a single believer in La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah except me and my father. All FBI prosecutors, all government agents, counterterrorism officers, agents from the lawyer said, these people truly hate you. I've never seen them do this to anyone before. Because when there's an audience in there, that puts an impact on the judge. Because, they don't know how they judge. So that usually puts an impact on the judge to give you a higher sentence. The lawyer said, I've never seen them attend a sentencing like this before ever. They really hate you. But where's the followers they claim you have? Where's all the followers they claim that you have? Our house, back in the days, and I say, wallahi, just out of lesson, nothing else, was open for students 24/7. The upper level of our house. In fact, I was looking at our old coffee machine back in the days. It was the old commercial ones, because those little ones didn't befit our house, because it was always guests. We had the big ones. I was looking at it the other day. Wallahi, it has AJ's Ilm Cafe on it. That's what they used to call our house. People in and out constantly, learning, teaching, dawah. And may Allah raise my mother's ranks. She stood alone and this matter. Providing and giving and looking out and cooking and bringing the food and the coffee and all that. After lectures or halaqat, I remember there were days where they would follow me back to the house to the point that I can, as if I'm seeing it today, brothers would be sitting by the doorway of the bathroom. Be packed to the point, people are sitting at the doorway of the bathroom. The judge handling my case is about 5 foot. He's known to be very short. The lesson learned is, if not a single person stood in support before a 5-foot judge, do you think anyone will stand by your side when you're in the court of all courts before Allam al-Ghuyub, the one whose his kursi is bigger than the heaven and the earth? If they couldn't stand before a judge who's 5 foot tall, every step of the way, renew your oath. That's the lesson of it. Every step of the way, ask yourself, is this pleasing Allah? And if at times there's masses, when hardship strikes, they'll disperse, and then you only have Allah. So ask yourself before that, are you pleasing Allah? If you protected Allah back in the days, He's going to protect you. That's one of the best means of preserving patience in hardship. Ya Allah, I'm doing this for your sake. Always. That's the importance of intention. Sulaiman al-Darami said, لو شك الناس في طريق الحق ما شككت فيه وحدي. If everyone doubts the truth, I would not doubt it even if I'm standing alone.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم. أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون. ولقد فتنا الذين من قبلهم فليعلمن الله الذين صدقوا وليعلمن الكاذبين. أم حسب الذين يعملون السيئات أن يسبقونا ساء ما يحكمون. من كان يرجو لقاء الله فإن أجل الله لآت وهو السميع العليم. ومن جاهد فإنما يجاهد لنفسه إن الله لغني عن العالمين. والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لنكفرن عنهم سيئاتهم ولنجزينهم أحسن الذي كانوا يعملون.